So as promised, here are the solutions for the challenging questions at the end of our last lesson. Now, I do want you to attempt these questions before viewing the solutions. Again, they are supposed to be a bit more challenging, so if you can't get the answer, don't get frustrated. So question A, a number m is called an arithmetic mean of a and b if a, m, and b form an arithmetic sequence. If the two arithmetic means m and n and a, m, and n and b form an arithmetic sequence, determine the two arithmetic means between 9 and -45. So we're going to go ahead and denote T1 to be -45, T2 to be m, T3 to be n, and T4 to be 9. From there, we're going to want to solve for D. We're going to want to solve for a difference, right? Because it's an arithmetic sequence, we have a difference instead of a ratio. So to do so, we have our formula. T sub n is equal to a plus n minus 1, all multiplied by d. Now we're going to go ahead and use T4 and sub in. So T4 is equal to a, which is -45, plus n, which is 4, minus 1, d. Right? And T4 is 9, so we have 9 equals -45, plus 4 minus 1, d. From there, once we solve, we should get d is equal to 18. From there, we can go ahead and solve for our T2 and our T3, right? So T2 is equal to T1 plus D, and T3 is equal to T2 plus D. Therefore, our m value is -27, and our n value is -9. Question B, if x plus 1, -2x minus 4, and x plus 15 are three consecutive terms of an arithmetic sequence, we're asked to determine x and the three terms. So by definition, again, an arithmetic sequence have the same common difference, right? It has the same common difference. That means T2 minus T1 is going to be equal to T3 minus T2. So let's go ahead and write that out. So T2, -2x minus 4, minus T1 of x plus 1 is going to be equal to T3, x plus 15, minus T2, -2x minus 4. Right, so now if we go ahead and expand our brackets and collect like terms, we should get -3x minus 5 is equal to 3x plus 19. Solving for x, we should get x is equal to -4. And now what is x? Well, x we can just sub into our question and solve for our three consecutive terms, right? So x plus 1, -4 plus 1, -3 is our first term. Our second term, -2x minus 4, -2 times -4, minus 4. Our second term is 4. And finally, x plus 15, -4 plus 15, and our last term is 11. Question C, the sum of the first n terms of a sequence is n bracket n plus 1 bracket n plus 2. What is the value of the 10th term in the sequence? So if this is the sum of any term denoted n, we can go ahead and plug in 9. We can go ahead and plug in the sum of the 9th term, of the first 9 terms. How do we do that? We just plug in 9. We just plug in 9 for n. Once we go ahead and solve, we should get the sum of the first 9 terms to be 990. Okay, now let's go ahead and find the sum of the first 10 terms. How do we do that? Well, we just plug in 10 for n. And going ahead and solving, we should get 1,320. So since we have the sum of the first 10 terms and the sum of the first 9 terms, can we not go ahead and solve for the value of the 10th term now? Well, we can. So the value of the 10th term is simply going to be the sum of the first 10 terms, which is 1320, minus the sum of the first 9 terms, giving us a value of 330. That is the value of the 10th term within our sequence. And last but not least, question D. If the terms 27, x, y, and 8 form a geometric sequence, we're asked to find x and y. No problem. So a geometric sequence, they have the common ratio, right? They have a common ratio. So x is equal to the previous term, which is 27, multiplied by r, multiplied by a ratio. Y? Well, that's going to be equal to the previous term multiplied by the ratio as well. But since we don't know x, we can go ahead and write the first term, 27, multiplied by the ratio squared, multiplied by the ratio times the ratio. And finally, we have our fourth term, which is 8. That's going to be equal to 27 multiplied by our ratio cubed. So if we go ahead and use 8 is equal to 27r cubed, and we go ahead and solve for r should be 2 over 3. With that, we can go ahead and plug it in. We can go ahead and plug it in and solve for x and y. X should be 18, and y should be 12.